Interaction. This one is, okay, just to test you out, I want you to look at the middle of these two squares and tell me whether these colors are the same. Is there a difference between them? They're the same? Does the color surrounding it change anything?
Yes.
Yeah. What is that?
The one on the right of the square looks lighter.
Looks lighter?
Like it kind of grayish, more teal, less blue.
That's exactly what he said. When I asked him to look at this, he told me this one was lighter. When I see it, I see this one's lighter, but I think what he meant is this one's more saturated. Any idea why this is more saturated?
The yellow.
The yellow. It's orange. It's like an orange yellow. So when we were talking about complementary colors, we talked about how they make each other look brighter, right? So this one looks more saturated in comparison to this one. However, when you're looking at, because there's a difference between value, saturation, and, value and saturation. Value is the brightness, like whether it's lighter or darker, and the saturation is how vivid the color is. So whenever he told me, oh, this one's brighter, I think what he meant is it's more saturated, so it looks like it's brighter, like it's shiny, and that one's more desaturated. But when you're looking at the value, let's say this was gray, like all of this was turned gray. This one would look lighter because it's against a darker background. So color can change value and the hue. And the hue also. In my class we did some studies, which I'll show you after I'm done with this presentation, where we could shift the actual hue using the same color, making it look like a blue-green, and on the other side it looked like a yellow-green, shifting the hue, and making two different colors look exactly the same by putting different colors on the background. Pretty interesting. This one is Joseph Albers. He did a lot of these works just based on the interaction of color. These are also the same. I think the computer's not doing justice to the colors. But on the one on the right, you can see a shift in value right there based on the background on which they're put. And on this one's the same color, just that he's shifting the hue with the blue and the orange. Optical illusion. If you look at this flag that I made, this computer is really not doing justice to it. When you see it on the computer, if you want, you can come over here and look at it after I'm done. When you put really, really bright colors, like this bright red and this bright ultramarine, it almost looks as if these stars are vibrating. Like you can see an outline, like they're literally vibrating. Why? Because both of these colors are bright. What happens when you desaturate this red or you desaturate the blue? It won't vibrate anymore because there's no conflict in between the attention each color is drawing. So what happens when you add this dark desaturated blue star? It doesn't vibrate anymore because there's no conflict between those two bright colors, because now you have a border. I don't know if this one works. Do you see any vibrations here with the red and the green? Is it working? Is it hurting your eyes?
They're hurting my eyes, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, and psychological effects. It's really hard when you're thinking worldwide, the psychological effects of color. Of course, there's like red. Red raises your blood pressure, it makes your heart beat faster. Blue lowers your blood pressure, relieves stress, stuff like that. But in general, psychological effects vary depending on culture, society, and time periods. For example, here we might think of red as something that's active, as something that's very passionate. And in other cultures, red might have a negative meaning, something like sexual, or something evil, like fiery, like hell. So it all depends on who your public is. So you have to appeal to your public. This can be used in a lot of things, not just advertising, art, and interior design. It can be used in anything because we perceive color every single day, every second. We're always looking at color, and color is always influencing our every move. On the arts, I chose film because we all go to the movies, and there's a lot of little details in the colors and the lighting and everything that they use to make to produce these scenes and make them so dramatic. Advertising. We've all seen these two logos, Coca-Cola and McDonald's. Why have they been around for so long? I would say it was because the associations we make with them. McDonald's has been around for so long. We all associate it with the commercials that McDonald's is going to bring you happiness. It's so good, and it's a place for family. And so is Coca-Cola in their commercials. It's family, it's fun, it's trendy. But it also has to do with the colors they use. And business people, marketing is all about just trying to get into your brain and drawing you in with every single thing. So red stimulates hunger. I remember driving down the expressway, and there was a trailer it was a McDonald's trailer, and on the back it was a red background with the McDonald's fries that said, "Are you hungry?" or "hungry" with a question mark. And I started thinking about this, that red stimulates hunger and yellow speeds metabolism. I'm like, man, people they're just so bad. They're not even, doing this. And on the back, you can't look to the sides. They're just there, right in your face. And it works. It works because you see the fries and you're like, oh God, fries, McDonald's fries. Same with Coca-Cola. They're using red to stimulate your hunger, to draw you in and buy their products. In interior design, we also use color. You should try to use a palette that only has 3 colors, because anything more than that would sort of overcomplicate it and be too busy, stuff like that. So your main color would be 60% of it. That would be the less saturated one. 30%, that would be the neutral, like a green. And your 10% of the whole room, or whatever you're designing, should be your bright color. That should be only the accent. So like yellow and red, the very bright color should be only 10%. Why? Because bright colors, when they're overused, they start sort of getting annoying. They start evoking feelings of irritation, frustration, anger, irritability. So people use these colors to stimulate communication. For example, navy blue was one of the colors that they said it hinders communication. It makes people stay quiet. And colors like orange and reds would help create the ambience for communication. They also said something about using yellow, because yellow is very active. So you would use these in the north, on the north sides of your home, wherever the sun doesn't hit it. Because wherever the sun doesn't hit, you start feeling sort of like the cool, like cold and bitter. So you would use more lively, happy, active colors. In film, I'm pretty sure all of you have seen Avatar. In this specific scene, their little love scene, you see in the background all those plants, they start like shining with purple and all these sparkly things, which is sort of associating it with love, purple, love. And this one, the Dark Knight, I chose this one because in the specific scene they use the lighting, like the lighting is very yellow, greenish, sort of yellow would have an association to stagnation, stuff that's repulsive. And so when contrasting with this red on his lips, red and green are complementary colors, going back to the complementary colors. They make the red stand out more. And just everything about this whole scene is just so repulsive. On this one, they're using the color, I noticed it, they're using this red color to accentuate that heart-shaped head that she has. She has such a heart-shaped head, heart-shaped lips, heart-shaped chair, heart-shaped hair. Everything is so heart-shaped, and they pull it all together with this red that they're using. And in the whole room, everything is just so red. It makes you feel like it's just a little too much, and everything about her is just a little too much. Also, here on the makeup, you can see color can also draw border lines, like where they made her head, they elongated her head. So without actually having to draw lines in there, color fields make these borders. So this is some of the research. Red makes quick reactions. That's why they use it on stop signs. Orange draws attention. Yellow is the most fatiguing to the eye. So whenever it's used, it's overly used, it can cause anger and frustration. Green promotes relaxation and relieves stress. Green is very home. It makes you feel at home. So whenever you're using, a lot of people use that color for like the visitor rooms or hospitals, wherever you want to feel like you're at home, trying to reduce stress, trying to reduce feelings of, feelings of like irritation, nervousness. Blue increases productivity. I don't know if you guys ever experienced whenever you were taking tax in middle school or in high school, they would put the blue construction paper all over the walls. It increases productivity. Pink, calmness and serenity. Overexposure leads to feelings of agitation. Pink is a very complicated color to use because of this, because overexposure. So you can't have it for too long, you can't have too much of it, you gotta have just the right amount. So colors like pink, orange, yellow are very complicated to use.